What's going on, family? Flacco back at you with another video after what? 6 months. I'm sorry. Sorry it's been so long. I've been slacking. I'm be honest with you. I've been bringing your comments from the last video, saying, Flacco don't post no more. Like we need more videos, woo, 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 woo. But I'm about to be more consistent. 2 to 3 videos a week. I gotcha. Promise. This is gonna be a different type of video. The video we're gonna be reacting to is 10 foods you'll never buy again after knowing how they are made. Alright? So we're gonna get into it right now. Alright.
You might be eating these things every day, but you will quickly change your habits once you know that you're eating maggots, rubber, chemical ingredients, and more. Just wait until you see which McDonald's meal looked the same after 14 years in a coat pocket. You'll never eat that again. If this is your first time watching our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today, we are showing you 10 foods you'll never buy again knowing how they are made. Hot dogs. Have you ever looked at a sausage and wondered how this weird thing came from an animal? It's already disgusting to think that we are actually eating a corpse, but we will get over it. However, you might not be ready to see how a beautiful pig is turned into a weird-looking sausage step by step. As you know, you first have to end the life of the pig, which is never an easy thing to do. Then it all starts with what's left of the beef and pork after butchers took the best parts of these animals. They are fed into a machine. It passes through grated metal plates, and processed chicken trimmings are added to the mix. This is when we get the most disgusting part. The meat mixture is blended until it is liquefied and it turns into something that we will never want to see again. This is how they can add food starch, salt, ground mustard, and other flavorings. Water is blended into the mix and everything is blended together to make sure that it looks even more disgusting. The meat puree is then pumped into the casings and ready to go in a smoker to get the additional flavorings. We don't know about you, but we think we'll eat a hamburger instead. But just wait until you see how this other meal is made.
Hey guys, please check out the most awesome sisters on YouTube, Sister Fun. Watch them play the latest games, go on amazing adventures, and just doing all sorts of fun and silly things. If you have kids, little brothers or sisters, or if you just want to join in on the family fun, please subscribe to their channel.
You hear this? Subscribe. If you got little kids or you like their content, subscribe. Better go subscribe. No cap.
Chewing gum. You have all heard your parents tell you that you shouldn't swallow your chewing gum because it will be stuck in your belly for 7 years. Some of you probably still believe it. At least we have one good thing to tell you is that it will just take a few days for your chewing gum to end up in the toilet. But unfortunately, there is a good reason why your parents told you that you shouldn't eat chewing gum. That's because this delicious candy is actually made of something that we shouldn't put in our mouth. It all starts with the gum base, which makes the chewing gum chewy. It used to be made from tree resin, but it's now synthetic. You'll want to eat resin again once you learn that your favorite candy is actually made of plastics and rubbers. The gum base is poured into a mixer, and this is when they can add color, flavoring, and sweetener. These are probably the only things that we can eat in a chewing gum, and this is the reason why this sweet only lasts a couple of minutes before there is nothing left to taste. At least now we understand why we shouldn't swallow chewing gum. Tell this to the kids instead of scaring them with this crazy myth. Blue cheese. Have you ever wondered why this cheese is blue? You won't believe that this color is actually caused by mold. You would think that it's not good to eat anymore, but this is actually what people love about it. We are not sure that we agree with them, but if you do, you can even make your own blue cheese at home. Start with a normal cheese recipe and make it disgusting as soon as it comes out of the press. Create air holes by inserting a rod in the cheese at every inch or so. Then rub the surface with salt and fold a cloth over it to cover the cheese. Put it in the refrigerator with good air ventilation and wait 10 days. You might think that your cheese is not good anymore, but if you see a white blue on the surface, that's a good sign. Then you can wait another 2 months or more and see the result. Now we understand why this cheese smells so bad. But don't worry, it's still good to eat if you ever dare go near it. Mold is usually dangerous because it affects our respiratory system and can even cause carcinogens. But in the cheese, there are no toxins, which makes the mold good to eat. We don't know who had that weird idea, and we're not sure. We want to know more about this. Yogurt. It's time to eat something healthy. You might be wondering, how can it go wrong? But you might be surprised to know that yogurt is actually full of bacteria. And that's not even a mistake. It is just made like that. We have been making yogurt in the same ways for centuries, even though things are now easier with machines. The first thing you need to do is separate the milk into skim and cream. It's also thickened with gelatin or milk powder. If you are a vegetarian and don't know what gelatin is made of, you'll have to keep watching this video. They then heat the thick milk to kill off any harmful bacteria through pasteurization. So don't worry, the food is actually safe to eat. But wait until you see what is coming next. The most important thing to make the yogurt taste like yogurt is to pour good bacteria into the mix. You heard that right. It is actually part of the main ingredients. The amount and type vary from one company to another, but it's still disgusting to think that we are eating this and we didn't even know about this. The bacteria work together to metabolize the lactose to form new chemicals. The fermentation then lasts for 3 or 4 hours until the yogurt is thick and creamy. Is it us? Or we just don't want to eat anything anymore now? Bacon. How can something so good be so bad? Any bacon lover doesn't want to watch this, but you know that you won't be able to resist the temptation to keep watching this video. Traditionally, bacon is made by rubbing a cut of pork belly with a mixture of salt and spice before leaving the meat for a week. We would have no problems eating that unless we were vegan, but mass production turned our favorite meal of the day into something disgusting. That's because the meat received injections of salty water, which can also include chemicals like absorbic acid, potassium nitrate, and sodium nitrate. Don't think that they are making the food better for you when they do this. The main reason why they add this to the meat is to make the bacon heavier. When you are buying bacon in the supermarket, you are actually buying expensive water. The meat is then cooked and placed into a cooler for a couple of days until it's ready to slice. At least, you'll be happy to hear that the meat does go through a metal detector to make sure the pieces of the metal hanger are not left in the bacon. Does that mean that it happened before? We'll let our siblings eat all the bacon that we have for breakfast this time. The fruits suddenly taste better. Gummy bear. Remember when we told you that vegetarians wouldn't be happy to hear how gelatin is made? Now it's time to tell you the truth about the ingredient that you can find in your favorite candies, including the gummy bears. Most gummies are made from gelatin, which is made from animal skin and bones. They use what is left of the dead bodies of the animals to create the gummies that we all love. There are tons of body parts, and when you look at this mountain of animal corpses, you can't help but feel sorry for those pigs who suffer only so we can eat a tiny candy. The meat is turned into little strings, which are then turned into something that looks like a powder. It's turned into a liquid, and this is when they add color and flavor. Then, out of a machine comes a delicious little treat that we love to taste. At least, this is what we thought before we saw those pictures. We might feel a little less guilty when we eat a steak, but killing animals to make something that we don't really need doesn't seem right. At least companies are starting to make vegan gummies for the best of everyone. If you're a vegetarian, were you surprised to know that gummies are made from animals? Don't be shy to share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Breakfast sandwiches. Going to a fast food restaurant is the best way to start the morning. You don't have to cook, and you have a delicious meal anyway, which is way better than a simple bowl of cereal. You might feel a little heavier during the rest of the day, but it won't stop you from doing the same thing the next morning. And the reason why you might feel bad is probably that it contains things that you would never put in your mouth if you knew what it was. You can probably find the worst breakfast sandwich at Subway. One of the ingredients is propylene glycol. It's a solvent for food colors and flavorings that is also used in antifreeze and deodorant sticks and to lubricate air conditioner compressors. Then we have glycerin, a solvent that we can find in soaps, moisturizers, and some brands of shaving cream. We also have TBHQ, or tertiary butyrhydroquinone, which is used to preserve vegetable oils against oxidation. It doesn't sound that bad unless you know that it's also used in perfumes, lacquers, and varnishes. And who can forget dimethyl polysiloxane, which can be found in silly putty and many lubricants. And there's also calcium silicate, a sealant used on roofs, roads, and concrete. We'll just skip the most important meal of the day instead. That's not worth it. French fries. What could go wrong with French fries? It's just potatoes covered with a tomato sauce that we call ketchup, but McDonald's found a way to make those French fries disgusting, mostly for vegetarians. It actually takes 19 ingredients to transform a potato into a piece of gold. We would expect to see things like potatoes, different oils, and salt, but we don't really like to hear that we can also find citric acid, dimethyl polysiloxane, dextrose, sodium acid pyrophosphate, and TBHQ. If you can't can't pronounce it, you shouldn't put it in your mouth. But all these weird ingredients were not the reason why people were shocked. What they hated the most was the natural beef flavor. McDonald's fries are pre-cooked in beef tallow, which is described as natural flavoring. Hindus who don't eat beef for religious reasons and vegetarians were not happy to hear about that. This is why in June 2002, McDonald's was forced to pay $10 million to Hindu and vegetarian groups who thought that the fries were vegan. But there's also one last thing that anyone will hate about French fries from McDonald's. After 4 years in a sealed jar, they looked the same. When we look at the KFC fries, we know that this is not normal. But just wait until you see which thing from McDonald's stayed the same for 14 years. Tomato sauce. Here's another thing that we're going to ruin. You will never look at your pasta covered with tomato sauce the same way again. This time, we don't really care about how they are made, but about what we can find in the ingredients. At least, that wasn't planned, but that doesn't stop it from being there. You'll want to keep watching if you're vegan, because you might accidentally find something that is alive on your plate if you go to an Italian restaurant. And you will be even less happy to hear that you won't find animals but bugs in the tomato sauce. That's because the FDA doesn't care if there are fly eggs or maggots in your tomato sauce. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, it's totally normal to find 30 or more fly eggs per 100 grams. You could even find 1 maggot per 100 grams. The numbers are similar for canned tomatoes, tomato juice, tomato puree, and pasta, pizza sauce, and other sauces. Sometimes they can even tolerate 30 fly eggs or 2 maggots per 100 milligrams. That's something we wish we never knew about now that we think about all the tomatoes that we ate recently. Anyway, you probably won't notice the fly eggs in your plate. Let's just say that maggots are full of protein. Hamburgers. Now that you watch this video, you won't be able to eat anything. And if you thought that you wouldn't be able to stop yourself from eating a hamburger at McDonald's anyway, we'll make you change your mind. People start by inspecting cuts of meat before they are sent through the grinder. It is formed into beef patties and sent into a giant freezer just before they are boxed and packaged for shipping. Some patties are even tested before the batches of meat are sent out. The fast food restaurant also had to explain that they don't use pink slime in this recipe to make people feel less disgusted. All this sounds normal, which is why it's weird to think that a hamburger could be so disgusting. But you won't be happy to hear that this is the thing that stayed the same after 14 years in a coat pocket. A scientist even conducted a series of tests to understand if burgers would rot over time, and he thought that because of the burger's small size and large surface area, it would lose moisture very fast. Without moisture, bacteria or mold can't grow. We don't know about you, but we are not going to McDonald's anytime soon. Is there any disgusting food that you would love to eat anyway? Don't be shy to tell us what it is in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear what you think. And that's it for 10 foods you'll never buy again, knowing how they're made. For more stories...
There you go, family. 10 foods you'll never buy again after knowing how they are made. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Let me know what other reactions you would recommend me to watch. You know, I'm definitely be reading the comments. But, you know, until next time, you know, let me know what next video y'all want to see for this week. Come on. I'm taking this serious now. So, come on. All right. Talk to you guys later. Be safe. I'm out.